Sup everybody, my name is Kristen May Carbone, and this is You, Me, and Brie Makes 3, a show about cheese. Today, get your literary lists ready, my curd nerds, especially if you're a book nerd, because today, we're talking cheese books. Let's get started. So if you ever wanted to learn more about cheese and about how I learned more about cheese, this is the episode for you. We're talking cheese books. So there are 3 in particular. I have 2 of them here with me. One I actually don't have. And these were loaned to me. They're not even mine. I do need to give them back and buy my own. Sorry, Liv. I still have them a year and a half later, if you were looking. So these were given to me when I was becoming a fromagère, recommended by my fellow fromagère, who suggested them as a way to learn more about the details of cheese. So I had them, I read them, and this is where I've gotten a lot of my knowledge, besides the more hands-on stuff that I've learned just by doing what I do. So first and foremost, the granddaddy of all cheese books. If you've got a hardcore cheese lover in your life, this is a book that you should get them if they don't have it already. It is the Cheese Primer. This is by Stephen Jenkins. He is the originator, one of the foremost cheese authorities in the country. He created the cheese counter at Dean and DeLuca in Soho. He created the cheese counter at Fairway, expanded their cheese. So he knows his business. This one is an older copy. I think it's from like the 90s. So it's all in black and white. There's some information is not as up to date in this particular copy. I don't know if there's been any more modern releases, but this is the original. This is the one you want to look at. If you get nothing else, get this, because this will give you everything. And it was fantastic. It's got everything broken down by category. It does the usuals, you know, how cheese is made in a lot of detail. I find the information is much more relevant still in the international categories where things don't change as much, versus the Americans, where a lot of stuff has happened since this particular edition, and there's a lot more cheese varietals than are mentioned in here. But highly, highly recommend. This was invaluable to me when I was first learning about cheese, because it goes into such detail about different types. He has different opinions than I do on some things, but that's okay, you know. Overall, I still trust him more than I trust most people, because like I said, it's also broken down, particularly for like the Italian and French cheeses. It's also not just broken down by country, but by region, which is very, very important, as much in wine as it is in cheese. So if you do not have this, buy it. That goes for me. This isn't mine. I need to buy my own. I mean, I even have my notes for the show on the back of my headshot. Notes for the show in here, because that's how often I consult it. Even when I'm filming, I'm still consulting this for particular details that I want to make sure I get very, very clear for you guys. So much knowledge. Read. Love it. So the second book I would very much recommend is Mastering Cheese. Lessons for Connoisseurship from a Maître Fromagère, Max McCalman, David Gibbons. This also makes a very beautiful coffee table book. This is more up to date. Similar information. I know there is some variance between the two. I feel like the Cheese Primer is more classic textbook. There is some textbook notes to this. They do have conclusions and chapter review at the end, so it can almost work as well as a textbook if you want to increase your life study of cheese. But it's newer, there's more pictures, there's more color, and also I think there are more up-to-date information and things in here about American cheeses, since this is a newer book, and it's changed so much. Max McCalman also worked at Picholine and Artisanal, and which I believe is closed. I forget how long ago it closed, but it closed in the last couple of years. But that was obviously cheese heaven. But there is a lot of information in here. It's a really wonderful book. I think they complement each other really well. There's obviously some knowledge crossover and things like that, but I think they both serve unique purposes, and I think that's why my friend recommended them both to me and gave both to me to look at and get that information, because there's a lot of really good stuff in here. This book is, like I said, a little bit more on plating than the Cheese Primer, but I mean, it's a beautiful book. So both were really, really important and really great if you want to learn more detailed info about cheese. So The last book I want to recommend to you, I actually don't have a copy at my house right now. It is Composing the Cheese Plate by Brian Kaiser and Lee Friend. Here's a photo of me holding it. Here's a photo or video of me dancing with it. And yet I don't have it at my house. It's written by my bosses. So, Composing the Cheese Plate by Brian Kaiser and Lee Friend. And it's basically the philosophy that we use to plate cheeses at work. It's how I learned to do what I do right now. And it comes with all these recipes for the different pairing types, which we use in the restaurant. And it's great. It's a really beautiful, informative book on plating, especially if you want to do something more non-traditional, you want to add some spice. It's, like I said, it's how I learned to do what I do. And for some reason I don't have a copy here right now. I don't know where it is, but I highly recommend, especially because those pairings are useful for everything, not just cheese plates. So you get to make some really cool stuff and see some gorgeous cheese plates and get knowledge about cheese. Winner. Winner. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and of course I don't have a copy here, but we have them at work, and that's why I thought of it, is called Culture Magazine. Now if you're looking it up online, make sure you put Cheese Culture Magazine, not just Culture Magazine, because that is something very different, as I found out today. Yeah, anyway, Culture Magazine obviously will have articles and such on cheeses and farmers and events and things like that, all of which is great, and I love, and I flip through it at work, because I can. But what it also has in the back, which is super helpful, is it has stores and specialty shops, cheese shops, all that kind of stuff listed by state. They also have it online, so you can look stuff up if you're trying to find a new cheese shop, somewhere to go where you can start getting that kind of quality cheese that I recommend and that I know you'll love. And that's it. I wanted to share where I get my knowledge from. Obviously, a lot of mine has been very hands-on, but these books have been invaluable. They are part of the reason why I know, a good part of the reason why I know as much as I know today. And they're always great to go back to. I go back to them all the time. Sometimes a guest has a question and I can never remember specifically what the answer is, and I can just flip one of these open and well, bam! Now I know. So if you are looking to expand your cheese reading list for the summer, if you want to get more book nerdy, along with being curd nerdy, there you go. Get in on some of that. I'm going to put the links to where you can find these books if you'd like to buy them online. I'll link to them down in the description box below. And I will also link to the Culture Magazine thing online where you can look for your local cheese shop just so you can start getting an idea of where to go to get some really good quality cheeses for yourself. If you like this video, if you learned something, if you want to see more, please like it. Please subscribe to this channel. Share it with your fellow cheese enthusiasts. I like to know that people are out there enjoying what I do because I enjoy sharing it with all of you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kristen May Carbone. This is You, Me, and Brie Makes Three, and I will see you next week.